deployment here.
Yep. 2 secs.
Immediately.
And live. Welcome, Barncat. Thank you for joining me for this last one, mate. Or we'll see if it's the last one. If Travis wins, it's not the last one. If he does lose, it's the last one.
Hey, well, there you go. So really interesting and fun matchup here between Convocation and Web Warriors. I know that you and I, in deciding who exactly it is that we wanted to cover, that Ironbound Books going into Web Warriors is going to be something else.
Yeah.
So with the Convocation roster, they're rolling out here Sorcerer Supreme Strange, Voodoo, Clea, and Juggernaut.
I like that. We've got Planes of however you say that, which is
Planes
the
of Poole Dark. Yeah.
Choose any number of enemy characters. Choose an enemy character, allied characters. It's basically Dark Rain, Ironbound Books, which of course Field Dressing, Medpack, and Indomitable. I like that. And it looks like he's
These are
using
all
the correct
very
side of
good
leadership.
into Web Warriors. Very good tactics cards into Web Warriors.
Yeah, he's using the good side of leadership as well, which is the reposition side. And then we've seen this already today, so we're playing at 17. He said, but we have got all webbed up. Advanced R&D, Brace for Impact, Spider Tracker, and Medpack. So
What
just for your info, just for your info for orientation, like so, I always keep the score at the bottom of my screen because the red side needs to be on the right for the streamer view. So keep red on the right, blue on the left, and you're good to go.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So what we're looking from Mr. Matt Alix here, who, by the way, folks, is a Season 7 TTS quarterfinalist running the Web Warriors. You're looking at a Miles, Amazing Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Black Kite, and Ghost Spider. So pretty much par for the norm, what you'd expect from a Web Warriors team in a matchup where you've got a lot going on here, but you've got to like the D shape for the Web Warriors side.
Oh, yeah.
I'd expect a lot more of an aggressive matchup out of the Convocation folks, and you can tell just by taking a look at the way they're deploying these Convocation team. Very much heavy, I'd say right center, with a Juggernaut to go control the left side of his board.
Now, it's interesting though, because of the two squads here, I would say that the team with Juggernaut is the only one that can potentially cap the herb at this point. Like the other teams, Amazing Spider-Man, maybe you can have a go at it. He'd be half decent, but like Juggernauts is definitely heaps better. So clearly, charge the cube real quick. Didn't take any damage, which is always a plus.
Unlike my poor matchup against House Party Will, who actually took 4 damage on one clear roll on his very first activation. So the reason you're going to see that Clea thing is fundamentally, she is here to create an herb play for Juggernaut due to the teleport.
Yep, keeping the center there to facilitate him, driving by the middle eventually when he does go for it. And your plus side is that you've just teleported Doctor Strange up, Voodoo up, which means he's got a good chance of, if anyone moves this lower extremist console, that he can move and attack and then apply his token if he needs it.
Yeah, a lot of movement there from the Convocation side. Gotta love it. But I do like this Convocation roster build. More than anything, I'm really hoping that we can see a Juggernaut. Nothing stops a Juggernaut through a horse. I want to see him go through the horse.
That would be nice. Just absolutely just blitz it. The I mean, if I'm the Convocation player here, I've got to say my priority kill target is probably going to be sitting at Black Cat and or Ghost Spider. Probably Black Cat first because she can steal the herb off of Juggernaut, which is irritating, and run away with it. So you can steal the other player's herb off them. And we've also got Ghost Spider, which, she has no size limitation on her web pool.
Movement shenanigans, yeah.
Moon Knight getting a free move, though.
This is not bad early game.
Yeah.
Not bad at all for Moon Knight.
Does let him get in a position and sometimes get a sneaky attack. It does. I always find it does suck, though, when you do it this early in the round when there's not really anyone for him to have a go at.
Exactly. But if this gets him onto a point for free, and if he just sits there, well, whoever.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe this gets him onto a further point than he had thought been possible. So This may be fortuitous planning.
Could be though, but I mean, it is Juggernaut who is going to just move, slide, and punch. So anything that goes near that top point, he's going to have to take a Juggernaut attack.
Sure, but if you're Moon Knight, I do think that you can probably eat one of those and maybe still be standing. And if you're still standing and the Juggernaut wants to decide to punch you again without running away with that herb and making that herb play,
Absolutely.
I've just absolutely covered a game
You could do
to
that.
where Juggernaut had hung around punching somebody over on that side of the board a little bit longer than they probably should have. So if you're gonna have that Juggernaut get baited into hanging around, then so be it.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I like
looks
this.
like a very aggressive play for a Moon Knight.
Well, I like this because if Moon Knight goes to the top, he's just going to get pounded anyway. Lucas
And
is
it
said
looks like
because
he's
of,
really going into Kalia here.
yeah, well, we may as well. She's not exactly the tankiest character around. Lucas has said
Absolutely
because
not.
Juggernaut's helmet he can't be pushed by it. Goes, why that's correct on his
That is
helmet
a
side.
good roll from Matt Alix. 3 hits onto 0 defense.
Yep. Punch through with another shot. Moon Knight doing Moon Knight things. Number 3. Dazed.
Oh, plus a critical resolve.
She's dazed.
That is brutal for Kalia because that sets that turn 1 potential Juggernaut or turn 2. Well, that turn 1 potentiality there as far as teleporting him across has been hindered a bit.
Yeah, it's of all the it does suck when you're 4 wide and you have a character get dazed turn 1. It's definitely like Moon Knight. I would expect him to eventually kill her probably second next turn, depending what Shadow Lord does in response.
Yeah.
That being said,
Yeah.
you'd be kind of, I mean, Poole's got to kind of take a second here to think about this, right? Because having a character dazed on your home objective turn 1 can be quite triggering, and it's sometimes you see characters like people will actually, you know, not dig themselves out of that hole and focus too much on it. Like he needs to think about the herb here.
Too much, he's going to get maybe some blood, right?
Yeah.
It's going to get that bloodlust up, and you can already see him measuring on attack with Juggernaut.
Like
I don't know
you could do both.
that if I would agree with this. You know, I mean, you can do both. You're right. But if this attack does not go well, you're potentially not doing both.
Right, you're not getting the herb. The herb's the thing to go for right here. So if he can move right, and then slide through the horse, which is what we want to see, and sit between.
That's all we really want to see. I mean, if we see this horse get obliterated, I'm going to call it a success.
But he's got to slide to this herb, right? And he's got to stay within range of Moon Knight. And I think just going Moon Knight here and choosing violence without getting that herb is not the play.
I agree. I completely agree. I think this is, just as you called it, a reaction to a violent first interaction in the game.
Yep. There is a couple things to point of note is that he did advance.
Here goes the horse. Here goes the horse. Hold on. I'm sorry. Can't help myself.
He's gone.
The horse has been obliterated. Guts everywhere. He has sprinted through the horse. He has sprayed it amongst there are sharks in the water. Horse guts abound. Okay, sorry.
You feel good? So point of note is that Black Cat did get advanced R&D to power from Moon Knight. So she will start next turn on 3 power. So Matt can start the next turn by taking his herb and running. Horrific.
And there's no reason why he shouldn't. He can play her very conservatively, run her up. Let's go ahead and get that over with. And call it a game for Web Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, that's a horrific start for a Juggernaut attack.
My goodness. It certainly is.
And this is the problem, right? Like, he could have slid to do both. He could have. Because all he needs to do is do 1 damage, and he gets the power he needs to grab that herb. Correct. And then you force Black Cat to come to you, right? Whereas currently, there's no reason for Black Cat to go. In fact, this is kind of a bit crazy.
This is absolutely ideal. Yeah. For a Web Warrior start, it's absolutely ideal. What you're going to probably see here is, at this point, there's nothing that threatens Black Cat from going to the right side of Matt Alix's board to go and sit on that and score that point.
Yeah, and she's ready to stop the herb play as well. So
exactly,
I would expect that's
she's going to sit over there, score a point, steal the herb next round. or get blitzed by Juggernaut. Either way, he's wasting an activation that should have been preciously spent moving that herb across the board, because that's the only way you're going to beat this Web Warriors team on this sort of a D
Yep.
setup with
And
these riots out there.
And like, if he had done the slide and sat between the Herb and Moon Knight, I would also argue that Black Cat would not be able to sit on that top extremis and still be able to
Mhm.
steal that at the start of the next
He could
turn.
have contested both with Juggernaut. Yeah,
So
saved himself a point in the process. Yeah,
seems like I was bloodthirsty, and it's like it's going to cost him a VP, and Juggernaut's got no power. Like, you normally want to see Juggernaut generate at least 3 power off that attack, so that you can open the next turn by doing a slide if you want to.
there is the counterpoint to it though that says that maybe that damage does go through as maybe hoped, and you're trying to get the best of both worlds. 3 to 4 damage into to a Moon Knight, and also having your cake and eating it too, and grabbing that herb, right?
Exactly.
But we're just not seeing that here, and that's because doing 3 damage even with an 8 dice attack, it's not always guaranteed. Very much far from it. Although I think it might have been the average.
What is the cost of Black Cat Spender? It's 2. Do you think that Matt, knowing now that Juggernaut is sitting there with not enough power to start the turn with a nothing stops the Juggernaut, I probably would have done a drive-by stagger on him, to be honest. He doesn't have the power. I mean, as long as you don't do damage, he will not have the power to do a nothing stops the Juggernaut, which means he has to shake the stagger.
Sure. But if I were to put myself into the mind of a reprehensible and disgusting Web Warriors player that
It is tough.
does not have the same propensity of violence that maybe some Guardians guys like you and I might have, right?
Yeah, we would have chosen the bloodthirsty option.
Right. Or we would have chosen the status effect, Let's get this dice roll out of the way.
Does sack the power,
that is a bad attack dice.
Sadly, doesn't roll the skull though. If he rolls the skull and takes the sat power as well, he would be able to put his token on. Not that it actually matters at this point, because Moon Knight is currently contesting nothing.
You'll never hear me give any pity to anything that happens with voodoo. So
yeah, exactly.
Now, to get back onto the Black Cat, discussion there, I don't think that it's necessary, because I think if you're in a Web Warrior mindset, that is an uncontested point. You take your points, and you potentially take your points next round. If he doesn't activate this Juggernaut early, he's going to get that anyhow,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it doesn't matter. And at that point, you put a stagger on him, right? At the beginning of next round. If he doesn't activate the Juggernaut first, then he gets staggered. He's having a bad time. He's only got the one movement, and then he's going to get stuck there with the herb, and then he's going to get stolen off him on 3rd round anyhow.
Exactly. He just needs to be careful about
and meanwhile, that Web Warriors player who only thinks about points is going to be scoring potentially 2 points in those 2 rounds with that one model.
Right, and it's such a slow game as it is that actually can rack up very quickly into an unattainable lead.
I don't think that's going to be that slow at all, if I might, because these Web Warriors have the ability to spread the board and put up 3 secure points around very easily.
I'd be shocked if they could get 3 every round. I think they're going to get 3 this round.
I don't think 3 every round. Yeah, but they're going to get up to a points lead, which is really what they want.
She slips damage in here onto Voodoo as well. And a push.
Good.
And a push, I think.
Fuck that guy. There's the first F-bomb of the match.
It's all good. Size 2, he does get pushed by that. Do you send him over there? Yeah, why not? Send him away.
Yep.
Spread him out a bit.
And if you're going to put him on a side of the board, that's the side that you want him on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of annoying because
it's away from away from where Juggernaut can score his vessel. Voodoo is going to want to be on the vessel side of where that Juggernaut wants to go.
Yes, but he is also now next to the Black Cat, which means he can stop her shenanigans at will.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a win-win for him. Although the downside is that he's just in the middle and he's in no man's land. This is a very, very, very aggressive and thirsty option. I understand the thought of attrition players. Like, I get it. But sometimes attrition, just for the sake of being an attrition squad and you just want to shoot stuff, is going to be the massive detriment, because Matt's going to get 3 points this round.
But more importantly, you're absolutely correct. Continue that thought, please, and I'd like to follow on with one as far as what Strange is considered there.
Exactly. So he's going to. He's going
to. Oh, he's going to double move.
I like this. This is better. This is the better play.
This is better. This is better.
The downside is that he's opposite an Amazing Spider-Man who's about to pick up a herb.
Yeah, I'm glad I held my comments back, because the fundamental problem that I have found with Sorcerer Supreme Strange is that you're spending a power for that at 5 range attack.
Yeah.
And you gain nothing from it. And you gain nothing from it, right? So a lot of times with Strange, discretion is the better part of valor, and getting within a 3 range. And it looks like that's what he's achieved here with where Ghost Spider's at. And so, let's go ahead and force the issue and make you come up here and contest this point.
Well, he's going to be sending Amazing Spider-Man up, who is now about to grab hold of a herb. Probably do a webline kick at the same time, which means you're looking at a 7 dice attack into your Strange. It's his weakest defense, and he should then move and pick up the herb, and now we've got potential 8 dice builders from Amazing Spider-Man, which is kind of terrifying.
I mean, there's the point that we had kind of discussed again prior to Ironbound Books time, right? Yep. 8 on 5, not looking that bad.
Yep.
I will tell you from firsthand experience playing against dozens of convocation matches that Strange Sorcerer Supreme is weirdly tanky.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that reverse pierce, which he, of course, didn't hit. And he's doing, it looks like an Eye of Agamotto full reroll. He did get 1 in there on defense, and he's taken 3.
Brutal, which is actually... that's Amazing Spider-Man on a 3 power. He should seem. I mean, I don't think he takes the thirsty option here. Shouldn't take the thirsty option here. It's unlike Matt. I think he takes the extremist. He contests the extremist, takes a herb, and he gets ready to start with attrition next round.
100%. And I don't think that he never needs to open up into the attrition, right? He's just canceling out points and scoring points himself. If he happens to get his hands on that herb, and he can even threaten moving it across the board to force the issue of having to, the unenviable task of having to attack into Amazing Spider-Man, which, if you guys haven't witnessed it before in a game,
very tanky.
Is a heinous experience.
It is very
tanky. Is not fun under Miles' leadership.
So, I mean, I'm going again. That's interesting. So I would have thought that he would have gone up. Mainly because he can start next round, right?
That's just the dice failed him, and that's why you're not a bloodthirsty Web Warriors player.
Correct, but I mean, let's say he walked up there, right? He can start next round by swinging into Sorcerer Supreme. All he needs to do is deal 1 damage. He can then drop an all webbed up, web swing, long move, gone. And Sorcerer Supreme is stuck on that bottom side of the board.
I think the all webbed up is going to be saved for that back line when they're making the herb across.
I don't know, it's very like Matt, to completely neuter a character. Like Doc Strange has a lot of power here, but you drop the slow.
He can scalpel. He can do a lot of things. He's a surprisingly very mobile character.
He is with the medium move teleport. With the small move teleport, not so bad.
It's a 3 range teleport.
Yep. It's actually interesting as well, by the way, that he had the correct side of the leadership up, which is when you take damage, you can teleport within 1, and didn't use it.
I mean,
had an option on Sorcerer Supreme and had an option on Clea, because she got. I don't think she got 1 shot, did she? No, she didn't.
No, she got 2 shot. Yeah, 2 shot. Yeah.
She should have positioned herself into cover to try and save herself.
It is interesting. That might have been maybe the first notable misplay besides the greed and bloodlust of Juggernaut going up after, Clea.
We do have an attrition style squad, and they do have priority, so something might happen here.
I mean, you'd like to see so because at this point, I do like how Matt Alex is has positioned his team. I like a lot of the things that he's threatening. Perhaps another thing that he was trying to do with Amazing Spider-Man was to have him exist as a threat on the board, to maybe distract away from the real threat on the board, which is Black Cat over here.
Yep. Wally from Canada, what's happening, brother? So, I mean, he's kind of got to go Doctor Strange. So 3 health left. You got a kind of semi-powered up Amazing Spider-Man in front of him, so he has to go him first, I would argue. But what he does with him, I don't know. You have options, right? You probably want to do the Mystic Pierce attack into Amazing Spider-Man. I figure that's a given.
I agree with that. I think that that is the way to go here.
Also,
Dagger and Dabaroth is great, but Web Warriors don't necessarily care for mystic attacks.
no,
It looks like we have a tactics card in play, though. However,
it is the Ironbound
taken
books.
off the board.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, and it was a matter of time before that came into play. I think you and I had identified that as the big X factor in this matchup.
Yep.
To where, how are you Web Warriors with all of your physical attacks going to go into our mystic defense, right?
So we've got the Dark Rain, or the Convocation Dark Rain, has been paid for by Clear onto Doctor Strange. So we got 4 rerolls here. And Doctor Strange has paid 1 to do his range 5 attack.
It's good attack dice there.
Absolutely. A couple rerolls he's got. I thought maybe 5 dice for the Pierce and rerolls would have been better than just the 6 dice.
Yeah.
Especially since you're versing, a character that already has rerolls.
Yep. Not another reroll. Just
from the leadership.
Loving that convocation. Yep.
Done. So 5 hits.
With a Pierce, is that right?
No, I think he's done the spender.
You do daggers then. Okay. Yeah.
Poison if he hits him. Poison can be kind of annoying for Amazing Spider-Man.
But he's already powered up.
He's going to take some hits though. 4 and a poison.
That is a great amount of damage into him. At this point, if I'm Doctor Strange, I'm going all in onto him.
Yep.
Whatever it takes to put this ultimate scurry and reroll flurry character down, you gotta do it.
Absolutely. I thought maybe he had other options here. Good.
I agree.
Good roll. I thought maybe he
that
had
is
options.
Another good set of attack dice. Yeah.
Yeah. He had options here, right? He could have also teleported himself in between Ghost Spider and Miles and done a area attack into them. Done a Pierce builder into an area attack into the both of them.
I think that's the sexier of options. Yeah, but if you do that, you're giving up potentially that point over there.
Yeah.
And so I think both are fine options. I would have preferred to see the builder opening myself. I think that's just from an attrition player to an attrition player here on commentary. And I don't know if you're keeping notes, but maybe I should. That should be something that I'd like to potentially ask about. It's like, why are we not opening with the builder? Maybe that's a little bit too...
I mean, 6 dice with reroll all and an additional single reroll, it's good, right? It is good. You can overwhelm a lot of characters with that, which he obviously has.
But piercing on Miles, though, that feels like too good to pass up, especially with the power gen.
So I thought he basically could have. That's what I mean. So I personally, with Convocation, use the other side of the leadership. So if you take damage, you can reposition within 1. You teleport down to Ghost Spider and Miles. You smash one of them with the piercing, probably Miles.
Yep.
You then build the power, generate what you need for the area attack, hit the both of them, and then anytime somebody looks at you, you reposition in 1 and put yourself on that bottom extremis on that side.
Yep, I agree. For folks that have never really played competition or bothered to, they are,
Slippery.
in my opinion, I truly believe this. I think they're one of the better attrition lists that exist within the game.
Yep.
I think they're easily top three. I personally, from my 2 cents, being a murder with the Guardians, uh, that they're probably the primo attritions list.
Absolutely. So we got
As
Moon
far as
Knight.
pure aggression, pure krill,
Exactly.
pure kill.
So we got Moon Knight going into a extremely tanky Dr. Voodoo, 6 dice because of the Ironbound book, so he's going to block it. No
Oof.
hit rolled as well, so no rapid fire going from that.
That's a bummer.
Curious to see what he rolled. I'm assuming it's going to be the roll the power roll for his multiple personalities.
He's sitting at 3 right now.
He gained a power. He rolled a blank.
Yeah.
I don't mind this.
And
Get Moon Knight out of there. He serves no purpose standing around and punching on there.
No, make Juggernaut move for. Let's see if you can attract that Juggernaut and go and punch my Moon Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Get him away from your herb.
There's a lot of newer players that it's almost like an old World of Warcraft type thing, right? To where it's like the last person to punch the boss is where the boss is going to attack again.
Takes
right?
aggro.
Yeah, so maybe that's an attempt there from the Moon Knight, but this is just classic Web Warriors bullshit. Nobody wants to stand their ground. Nobody wants to be at risk unnecessarily. And to all those superiorists that run this, your boy Farmer included, I would only say that let the dice roll, right? Let's have a good time.
Stand here and fight me.
Stand here and fight me with my 5 dice against your 3 defense. Please,
Exactly.
let's go, right?
I like this.
I trust my rerolls over yours. Let's have some fun.
Yep. I like this play from Poole here. I think this is the better option. I think the Moon Knight's bait. I think you bring Juggernaut, you move, you punch Black Cat, and you slide if required. I'd even move, pick up the herb. He's got 2 power, so you move, he goes to 4 power, you got enough to pick up the herb and
So there's power.
and punch and slide. So it'll be a 9
And you
dice.
got to like the activation order here. He has got to get that in before she can go.
Yeah, she takes it.
And
It's no good.
Look, I mean, one of the biggest problems with Black Cat, no rerolls, no dice modification. That is a good roll for Juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, decent roll for Black Cat, though.
Yeah, not bad. But that is a good Juggernaut roll. That is 6 incoming damage into defending 4.
Yep, a double block. He needs
leadership
to block one
reroll.
more.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I was about to say, he needs to block one more so he doesn't die to the slide. That
is a clutch roll off the Miles leadership for Black Cat.
Well, he just said one of our best players locally is a Web Warrior guy, and you can hear the sigh every time someone's matched up with him.
I have spent far too much time as a Guardians guy, right?
Yep.
And my league list was far from the mobile, hyper aggressive, and also including marked for death Guardians list that I'm running now.
Yep.
And my most terrifying matchups were against Web Warriors, and my week 1 opponent was a Web Warrior guy, and I think he was a very competent Web Warrior player. And he ended up dropping, I think, almost after week 1 or close to it. I don't know why, but man, he was good Web Warrior list. Really good.
Some guys drop as soon as they drop their round.
Yeah, just a terrifying opponent for me.
Yep.
And so when you have this sort of frustration that a Web Warriors list that can create, it's such a luxury from a list building standpoint for a convocation kill oriented squad to have that big mobile model that Juggernaut presents against these guys. So good, man.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good.
Importantly, Juggernaut has generated enough power from that the Black Cat stagger is completely irrelevant to him, which is
Yep.
good for him. That's that point he wants to be sitting at. Black Cat does live on 1 though, and I fully expect her to steal the herb, heal off the extremist.
He
console.
still has 4 power left. Why not just bump her again?
She can't take damage from it twice, sadly. Once you damage by with Juggernaut, once per round, that's it.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's right.
Wishful thinking on wanting to kill a character I hate.
So, like, he's got options here, Matt, right? So he can actually heal off the extremist console, he can steal the herb, and he can then double move down to the bottom extremist console and heal again. And actually has med pack as well. So he can actually bring Black Cat back to full health with the opposing herb.
I'm sorry, you were saying all that and I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
And that's the problem with Black Cat, right? Like, you fail the attack on her and she can do really annoying stuff like this.
I guess I don't really feel that bad because here he comes in with a voodoo of his own.
Yeah, exactly.
So
never feel bad if there's like on both sides.
if there's a voodoo on the board.
So 2 hits, we're going to see many blocks. So it takes a stagger anyway. Stagger on voodoo, very annoying for him. And this is what I was talking about, right, with the leadership side. Yes, you get rerolls, and I think that's a trap, right, because the rerolls have a lot of caveats involved in it. But you run the other side of the leadership for Convocation, and that voodoo can immediately move within one of his current position, which kind of semi-negates stagger a little bit.
Yes. So if you're talking about, flipping that bar with no doors a little bit too early, right?
Yep. I just don't flip it at all unless I'm desperate for that reroll.
Unless you are really putting the pedal to the metal, is what I would say.
Yep.
If you're finding yourself in the favor of an attrition game, or you're finding yourself in a position where you know the activation order, and you can really leverage it to your favor, then flip it, right? But I love mobility in models. And this out of turn defensive ability is potentially phenomenally good.
Oh yeah,
phenomenally good.
So Voodoo, I absolutely think should be casting his ability onto Black Cat, and I think it's a mistake that he hasn't done that then. Black Cat is on 1 health, I know, but you just voodoo her. She drops the herb, and you've now got an opportunity to start next round by picking it up with Juggernaut and one-hitting her and carrying on.
Or better yet, if he just Brother Daniel or arguably might have been arranged to pick it up himself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he can't do much with it, but it's something.
Yeah.
Miles coming up. Bring in the Sorcerer Supreme. I like this. Still kind of a little bit weak.
Which is fine,
Whoa.
But you've got to like the model concentration going on over here.
Wild in defense, so I believe that will blank one of these hits. 2 wilds in defense. Is it per wild?
Okay, yeah, it's only 1, so it's a reverse pierce. Should only be 1.
Each wild in a defense roll.
Well, I was wrong. It is for both. It is better than reverse pierce.
Yeah, he blanks 2 and gains 2 power.
That is a fantastic offensive roll. Oh my God.
He actually blocks 6 out of that.
Yeah, so they're just sorting that out right now. So that's going to turn that attack roll into 4, and that's going to be completely canceled out.
I think Captain Marvel could do something similar.
Against energy attacks, yes.
I think it is for each wild as well.
Whereas, Sorcerer Supreme Strange just does it on any wild rolls. So, and this is kind of going back into early in the game where I was talking about where Sorcerer Supreme is strangely tanky.
Correct.
Pun intended included. I can tell you firsthand, I threw, I think, in a matchup once against him, 29 dice at him, and he was still left standing.
Yep. Yeah, especially if you're throwing into that... And
he was just getting those wilds.
Energy
he was getting wild.
I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was getting his wilds.
So... Looking at Matt's squad, I need to ask him. I mean, I haven't been doing interviews, but I will ask him once we've killed the stream. I know he's got Clear and Jugs, and that's awesome, but I would have much preferred to see Nick Fury and Ancient One instead of Clear. Just because Nick Fury, his grunts lets you get back Ironbound books every turn.
Yes. On the flip side of that,
And he has
you have
fantastic
to
herb play as
also
well.
understand that this is going to sound kind of potentially shitty of me the way that I'm going to say this, bro. But he's still going in TTS, right? And they haven't allowed Fury in those guys.
True, but I've
And
allowed
so-
Fury in this tournament.
Yes, in the tournament, yes.
Yeah.
And so he's at a disadvantage in this tournament because of that. Because what I'm saying is that, like, even for me, right? Like, until I got eliminated last week, right?
Eyes on the prize.
I had not been considering, Shadowland, Daredevil, Nick Fury. Nowhere in any of my game planning or anything that I was considering or worrying about were they anywhere within the scope of my purview.
I would
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely indomitable this, by the way, if I am Matt here.
Well, yeah, Strange is already activated. He
Yeah.
can scalpel him next turn anyhow. Who cares?
I know, he would have kept the victory point.
How do you feel he's doing from an attrition perspective?
It's okay. I mean, he's got Amazing Spider-Man, right? Like, and Black Cat's on the cusp, and Moon Knight's not far. So, like, he's on pace.
So maybe he feels that he's got some attrition game going here. Then that could also be the case.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that if he kept his Strange there, right, he can just start next turn with a big dirty area attack.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just think that Strange being up there now having to spend 4 power to do the teleport is annoying when he could have spent 4 power on enemy characters, yeeting them into existence.
Do you think there's a more dangerous or potentially important Indomitable that he might have been saving it for later?
Not particularly. There's no do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I mean obviously Juggernaut's on his side anyway, but I mean,
yeah,
it's not a throwing team. There's the Miles kick, and then
it's
there's
the
Miles
Miles
webline Poole.
Yep. And maybe it's the webline pull, which he knows is going to be offline from here on out. That is the concern. I personally, I actually agree with you. I'm just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate. I'm one of those guys that if you give me the tactics cards, right?
Yep.
If you give me the conditions for my tactics cards to be met, then I'm going to use them.
Yeah. May as well
and if that's going to save me a VP or create an equal scoring opportunity against a Web Warriors team.
Well, he'd be 3-3 currently.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. I'm probably going to use it. And so the devil's advocate side is like, how do you think he's feeling from an attrition perspective? And
I think he's feeling spicy
can we get there?
I think he's about to do what we were talking about earlier. Teleport.
Yeah.
Area attack.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Get a heal from it as well, which is nice.
Are there any other models around there that can get a heal from it?
No, just Strange.
Okay,
but that's fine. No one else on his team has taken damage.
I mean, it's still an area attack, so yeah.
No one else taking damage. Needs to be careful where he places here. I don't know. I'll be questioning if he's.
Well, that's the cool thing about Strange's area attack is nobody takes damage from your own team. Yeah. They heal. Yeah.
He's paying 1 though. So he's teleported.
And that costs a lot of fucking power.
But he's not doing the area attack. We're just doing the single pay 1 6 dice attack.
He's doing the pay 1 again, but not the builder?
Correct. Lo and behold, it's done 2. Although failed on the
I would have liked to see the builder there to get the area attack back online.
Well, he had the area attack. It's already 6 power. He already had it. He had 10 to start with. So
is that... Yeah. Oh, goodness.
He had 10 to start with.
I firmly believe, man, and I'm sure these convocation players are far better convocation players than me. Or I should say player, right?
Mm.
But I think 100% that Deadly Daggers of Davaroth is a trap.
It is a trap. Like
it feels too good, but you're spending, you're gaining nothing, and like this guy is a power star of some bitch.
yeah. And like, look at what he could have done with this, right? He could have done a builder and the area attack, healed Strange to full health, and potentially
Yeah.
taken out 1-2 characters.
Yep.
Versus, we're now looking down a barrel of 3 hits into 1 block. So
I mean,
I
he
would
can
fully
still.
expect him to block it.
Maybe the idea is to scalpel somebody else out of there, right?
Yeah.
Because he still has the ability to do that. I don't understand exactly what scalpeling Amazing Spider-Man accomplishes, because he's going to get wherever he wants on the board right now.
Yep.
I don't understand what scalpeling Ghost Spider accomplishes, because she can do the thing that she does from anywhere within the ranges that the scalpel can affect her at.
Yep.
And he can't scalpel himself anymore. So I'd be really interested to see what the idea was behind that.
Yeah. So he's now going to med pack himself. Oh, sorry, med pack is going to be done on Amazing Spider-Man from Matt. So like,
yeah.
I've seen 2 opportunities for Poole already where he could have just paid the 4 power and sent one of Matt's characters completely out of position.
Yeah. I mean, that was just something that I was just saying, right?
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, look at this. Like, we do it to Matt. Let's say we scalpel Amazing Spider-Man and send him down near this house. Instead of copying an 8 dice Amazing Spider-Man attack and a 6 dice one, you would have just copped a single 8 dice.
But instead, you have Amazing Spider-Man, Webline, and how he's going with his builder, his spender. It's just
gonna one-shot him. This is a builder, by the way.
Oh my god, that's a filthy roll.
This is a builder. He's about to gain 5 power.
That's so bad. That's 9 hits.
That is a dazed Doctor Strange.
And
this is what I was talking about. Like, yes, like
can't say you didn't earn that for yourself, Doctor Strange.
That's it. Oh, he's done a spender. That was a spender.
That was a spender, yeah, because he drained a bunch of power out for it.
Yeah, and he's on his way now to claim the herbs, moving towards it.
Yeah.
And this is another thing, right? I need to question Matt. I don't know. So not Matt. Poole. Do you know who I am?
Deadly daggers, man. God, I hate it.
Do you know who I am? The Juggernaut throw card is just unbelievable, right? And
it is, especially as far as out of activation play.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. I just feel like bringing Juggernaut without that is like Juggernaut is exceptional. Wrong. He's still amazing. He's still great. But with that card, he is insane.
Yes, but let's objectively take a look at what he's got going on. So maybe he felt that advanced R&D with the play that he had early on off of it. Excuse me, I'm the wrong list. Yeah, give me a second. Plains of Poldark, I mean, that served a it should have served a better purpose.
I mean, the purpose of that is getting rid of
Iron Brown books in this matchup is a must bring. Field Dressing Medpack, they're both must brings. Indomitable's a must bring here. So it comes down to, Plains of Poldark versus Do You Know Who I Am? And I think he was probably due, and maybe chat correct us if we're wrong on there, me if I'm wrong on this, but you could have expected a bit more on that Plains activation. And, does that outweigh the Plane of Poldark? Does that outweigh Do You Know Who I Am?
Yeah,
because maybe... Well, the throw out of activation, but who are you playing, right? You're playing Web Warriors, bro. And what are you going to do if you throw them around? Oh, they're just going to run around and do Web Warrior bullshit? What's that going to accomplish you?
No, but we're playing on herbs where the Plains of Poldark will only get use out of like one character, which that's what it got. And the Do You Know Who I Am? I mean, a long throw is still a long throw. I mean, you can send a character into irrelevance off that.
Just, I'm trying to put myself into Shadow Lord's shoes, right? And wondering what good does a long throw do to me against Web Warriors?
I mean, it's not bad,
I'm
right?
not.
And don't forget, it also is a size 4 throw of a building.
Yeah, but on this piece of terrain, where's the size four?
We got
Where's the size four on this map?
double
There ain't
size
none.
3, one in the center, one down the corner. We got a, what did we roll for Moon Knight? We rolled a hit, so it's additional attack dice. Matt just going for
Appreciate you guys back
VPs.
on point.
Yeah, he's just going for VPs at this point, and I think that's the right play.
Web Warriors, webbing up,
He's currently
going for
holding
VPs.
3 VPs versus Shadow Lord's 1.
I mean, I don't hate the idea with Plains of Pool Dark here, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree that
It did its job.
You Know Who I Am is a phenomenal tactics card. A long throw when otherwise you don't necessarily have one online is fantastic. Maybe if you're somebody that's accustomed to bringing that out or thinking about it, you're thinking about it to win. Boy, I can't wait till I play Venom and I throw him to the fucking back line, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait to throw Hulkbuster into Bolivia, right? Let's go send his ass down to Central America and call it good. You know what I'm saying? So you take those gigantic models or those more plotting models like a Magneto. Could you imagine Do You Know Who I Am onto a Magneto? You're having a bad time,
It's a terrible time.
right? So maybe that's more the thought process as well.
So Voodoo going... No, it's Clea. Clea's doing her charge the cube. I think he was looking at the Voodoo move and attack Moon Knight, and I actually don't think it's in, so I don't mind this. Do Clea, do the teleport. Now it's definitely going to be in. Voodoo can actually walk up, and he's got the power to make Moon Knight irrelevant for that point, so it'll be 2-2 points, which is pretty good. Again, Matt still be in front by 1, though.
I wonder if Matt would bother with a brother Daniel though at this time on that. Just because his voodoo hasn't really taken any damage. He's always thinking about it though.
I think he would though, because if he doesn't, it's going to be 5 to. Well, Matt will get 2, so he'll go to 6. It'll be 6-4. And currently, both are looking to start scoring herbs, which means that that 2 points is absolutely relevant. Like, because it's such a low-scoring game that 1 to 2 points here and there, it really adds up and matters. So I think he has to do it. I don't think he has a choice, because if he does it, it keeps it as only a 1 point separation.
Fantastic point. I mean, he'd already measured it out, so. Yeah.
Well, he measured out the attack. We don't know if he's going to go for the Brother Daniel token yet.
I don't know. I was about to say you'd like to see it, but I don't like to see Brother Daniel ever on the board. No. So, boy, this is the second cast in a row where I just have shat exponentially Amber Heard size shits all over Brother Daniel. And I don't regret it.
It's broken.
Yeah. Hey, Jaron, how we doing on time?
Currently, we have got... That's a great point. We have got 60 minutes remaining.
Good.
We've had 55 minutes gone. We have got... Yeah.
One of the things these guys did exponentially well is like the turn 0 of this game went very quick. The crisis and squad selection, plus the deployment. I mean, it was, bam, 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 bam. Really good stuff. So that has given these guys a lot of time as far as the in-game under your guys' format here on the Masters tournament. So you got to like it.
Absolutely. We've had one game go to time where potentially it could have swapped around, given if he had more more time to actually close the game out. But I don't mind that because I find, like I was saying to you in a chat we had recently, that I find untimed games to be
It's my game. It was my game.
I mean, today we've had one go to time that
Oh,
potentially
okay.
could have swapped.
So I was the other one that happened to.
That's it. But that's 2 games in a total of like
Yeah.
45 or 50 games that we've had over
It's
3
fine.
tournaments.
You know, you got to keep it moving. I get it. It is a bit tough to play attrition into. However, you know, when these guys really get it cooking like this, you know.
Oh yeah, you can smash it out. Brother Daniel just
yeah.
put on Amazing Spider-Man, by the way, so he's dropped the herb. Nice play.
Good. Okay. Gotta
Nice
like
play.
that.
Yeah. And then he can potentially move. I don't think he can contest that. I want to say be very close. Actually, I think he can make that.
He's eyeballing it. Yeah, for sure.
Again, like it comes down to
I think he makes it, absolutely. I think if he angles it a little bit better, maybe. Oh, he's there cleanly.
Yeah. The only downside is that Matt still gets 2 victory points this turn to Shadow Lord's 1. So it's still going to be 6-4. So he basically is putting everything in
like it from an attrition standpoint.
Absolutely. I'm just saying that he's now put everything into his herb play. Shadow Lord, that is. If his herb play doesn't pay off, he loses because there's too many healthy bodies on the board at this time for him to win via attrition. So he's now actually got to play objectives.
What are the odds, do you think, that his herb play pans out?
Well, it depends how much Matt commits to this bottom side of the board. So Matt will always activate last currently, which means Ghost Spider is always going to be able to pull him from the point. No, he can't because Juggernaut's on his healthy side. So decent. He's just got to get to that point and nothing can stop him then. So if I'm him, if I'm Matt,
you look probably pretty all right.
I am double moving my Ghost Spider to steal that. There's no voodoo next to me. I'm going to go for it. Because even if you steal it, like Juggernaut's still got to spend the time to pick it up. Black Cat's got 10 power, which means she can absolutely move, grappling hook, steal. I'm pretty sure she even makes it to that vessel from that range.
So, folks, if anybody's ever paid attention to anything I've ever said online in the last, I don't know, 2 months or so, this is where Space Ma, a.k.a. Ebony Ma, a.k.a. The poor man or woman's version, Scarlet Witch, can come in. If you want a good hard counter to what you've seen from the Brother Daniel or this Black Cat stuff, shush, and no more mutants is your friend.
Absolutely.
This will be the absolute pivotal time if you're an attrition badass, like Jared and I fancy ourselves to be. Then you bring that card along and you say,
"Nope,
shush, shush, get out of here, little black cunt. Go fuck yourself."
They should just rename both of them to just nope. This is quite brutal as well when you manage to time that well, but it only stops at once, sadly. So,
but the pivotal moment, right, is what it's all about.
Yep.
Because, like you said, Black Cat's at 10 power. Her whole moment has been built up to these bullshit that's about to come potentially.
So this is Voodoo into Black Cat.
Good. Doo-doo into...
Only 2 damage though currently. 1 block. I would expect to see Matt do his reroll, I would say, unless he's just happy to, unless he's already done it.
He's got enough power for a throw being online too. So you'd like to see her just getting, chucked into to Moon Knight.
So we're doing a spender. I think the spender's the incorrect play there.
I want to see the
if
throw.
You kill her, you kill her.
Oh, that's a very good roll though.
But if he
puts 5 hits, 2 criticals resolved.
Yeah.
And
if he puts his Brother Daniel token onto Black Cat, she can't steal.
And she rolled fucking 4 criticals?
Yeah, I know, right. So I think this is actually the incorrect play.
Yeah.
I think he's playing to his dice here when he could have played to playing double Brother Daniel.
Well, I think there
is 1 skull.
I think we've seen that a few times from that side of the board, right?
Not enough power. Misplay, I think. Because you Brother Daniel her, and she actually can't transfer and pay for the ability. Which means that you stop everything that Matt has and can stop
Yeah.
you from capturing the herb. He has literally no option to stop you from capturing the herb. So I think that's
Well,
a big play.
let's see if Matt capitalizes.
I would expect him to. I'm expecting him to just long move, steal, long move, grappling hook into the corner, and then if Juggernaut wants to come get it, he can come get it.
Well, that sounds terrible. I'm gonna hope that doesn't happen.
That's probably exactly what's going to happen.
Um,
Well, you can only move once when you have the herb. So I'm expecting him to potentially. I mean, he's got some
yeah,
he's
it's
got some
fine.
shenanigans.
He's got
Right?
all the power in the world to do all that bullshit.
He's got
I
10
know.
power, so he's got two options. He's got a risky option and a safe option. Safe option, long move, steal, and then grappling hook towards the top left corner, just to be.
Or the risky option of going for the bullshit spender to stagger him,
Not so much that.
hoping for the evasive,
That's correct.
and then grappling hook away.
Well, no. So you can actually open with a grappling hook first into an elusive, right?
Yep.
Which will give you a small advance to then steal from Juggernaut and then do a long move to the corner. It'll just give you even more distance, but it's the slightly riskier
Personally,
option.
I'd like to be sure that I close. If I'm going to go the risky route, I want to take that long range move into him to get within the one, necessary to steal.
Yep.
The spender, and then start hightailing out of there with the stagger on top of it.
Absolutely. So we got Ghost Spiders going into Doctor Strange.
So, do you consider this a big missed opportunity for Matt Alix?
Yes. Yeah. I think at this point all he needs to do is just stall the amount of times he can cap the herb, and he absolutely could have stalled it.
That is something else. That, like I said, wow. I think you and I both expected that, and I mean, that was guaranteed. That was guaranteed to get that herb off of him.
No, it's a bit of an interesting one. My chat just died, but I've managed to fix it. So yeah, he's using Miles as leadership Wally, and Smartalek just got here there. So Miles. We're looking at an all webbed up play on Doctor Strange. Doesn't really do anything, so we're probably going for attrition at this point.
Or just because. I mean, if you can get Doctor Strange out of there, I mean, why not?
That's it. I mean, it's 9 dice. Has not paid off.
And, for what it's worth, Doctor Strange does have the leadership card on him. So there is some extra value in killing a high-value 5-threat model.
Yeah, I just think that there's actually no value
This is
in this.
very anti-Web Warriors
There's
to me.
no value in actually putting this into Doctor Strange right now.
I agree.
All webbed up could have been done on Black Cat's turn anyway.
All webbed up could have waited too until people start. I don't know. A better word, coagulating and pooling around an attrition point in the game, and if you don't use it, then who cares?
I don't
right,
mind.
but it's only round 3.
I don't mind the all
You're
webbed
going to
up.
get that all webbed up anytime you want. You can get it off.
I don't mind the all webbed up into one character. I think that's fine, especially a high value character like that. But it didn't need to happen in this turn. It could have been Black Cat taking this herb.
Yeah.
She then casts the all web up on Doctor Strange anyway, right?
Yep.
Or vice versa, Moon Knight does it and nails Voodoo so that Voodoo can't get away from that point.
Fantastic. No, you're correct. But conversely, Ghost Spider could have waited. And here's your all webbed up right now, right?
I know, but it's not going to serve any purpose on Jugs, right? He's already slow. He's got full health. So
it's extra dice going into him.
I know, but he's got full health, and you got nobody that's in position to actually take advantage of trying to go for attrition, except for Ghost Spider.
Yep.
Who has now activated and is in no position to do anything about it. Doctor Strange still to come. I mean, you can't pick that up on Amazing Spider-Man if that's what he's measuring.
I think he might just be straight kill oriented on the guy.
I don't mind this in comparison because there's no reason to do Black Cat currently. Like, she needs to be the very last activation this round. If
Well,
he didn't do it
the
first, she needs to be
activation
done last.
to do it was the one before the one that he did, right?
Yeah, but if you don't do it then, she needs to be last.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned about is that he activates clear and teleports.
That's a bad defensive roll and a pretty decent offensive roll.
Putting 4 into it, so he's currently dead. Needs to see 2 blocks here, so he's 9 dead.
It's got the only one. Now you're gonna leadership
Ooh.
reroll.
Still dead.
And failure, still dead.
So that's leadership gone as well.
So is there does Black Cat have the ability from her current position with 2 long moves to get across the board to steal the herb?
Yes.
I think he absolutely does.
So he's moving to the herb, but again, Voodoo's got the...
Yep, can't do it.
Sadly, that's the misplay.
He's still BD'd.
Yeah, he's still teleported, so we got to go with it.
And didn't he already... No, that was only the one attack, a movement and then attack into...
It's fine. He's set up in that if Voodoo decides to move the Brother Daniel token, he will be instantly on the vessel. Moon Knight coming in with extra attack dice, kind of clutch. So you might go for some attrition here. I personally would be doing a bow staff, 6 dice bow staff. 6 dice bow staff into 2 defense with the potential of a stagger.
So, Vaughn, I have never found myself to be like a really big fan of Moon Knight. What do you think he really brings to the table as far as a model besides some of these wildly all over the place pre-activation rolls?
He brings action economy, he brings an easy target for your advanced R&D, and he brings the attrition. He brings in massive attrition on the all webbed up turn when required, or just normal attrition in every other turn. So he brings a fair bit. I mean, he just pumped 5.
This is the most effective Moon Knight activation I've seen ever in my life.
So Moon Knight typically, especially if you pair him up correctly, is probably one of the best pieces in the game for attrition. Sitting next to someone like Zemo, and there's not much that those two can't just take off the board.
I've heard that said a lot.
So
I just have not seen it put into action. So figured I would ask. And Moon Knight just out there erasing folks.
Let's see if Brother Daniel was returned, because he did roll 4 defense. And it's still sitting.
Well, I mean, the token is still sitting on Amazing Spider-Man.
That's what I want to see. I want to see that picked up and taken off.
Yeah. So he's recalled it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
He recalled it last attack.
Nice work, champ.
But he got the hit, so that's all that matters. I mean, you don't really care if Voodoo gets dazed here, to be honest. You're not really trying to get him. Nice, generating power again. So now Moon Knight is sitting there, completely powered up, ready to go for next turn.
Man, what did you see that clear?
So if I'm clear, by the way, I am moving, and let's see if there's a size restriction on her teleport. No. I am teleporting Jugs to the far side of this vessel, as far away from Black Cat as possible. That's what I'm personally doing to save, to try and save this, and it doesn't take an action either, so you'll be able to move, do that, and move back on the point.
Why not just go over and move Black Cat?
Because I think it's friendly character only for her.
Oh, it just said choose this character or another character.
Allied character. Sorry.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, allied character. Yeah.
Dagger going on to Dr. Voodoo, which is what Moon Knight does best, which is very irritating for Poole next round. Which means there's absolutely zero chance that Voodoo can now... Whoa, that is not what I wanted to see. That's not the play. It's not the play at all. And that's game. That's a game over.
That's it's probably about to be.
So he will gain 1, 2, 3 victory points to Matt, and we're going to see 5 go to Shadow Lord. So it's instantly just evened it up. It's evened up, and now Shadow Lord should accelerate away. You hate herbs. It makes the secure almost meaningless, which is the opposite to most extracts. 4 secures on the table, and it's round 4, and it's 4 to 6. Well, that's more indicative of how slow this secure is. But herbs is largely considered a 0 extract, a 0-point extract by 9 out of 10 teams. The problem is when you're a team that actually has...
If you've got a Juggernaut that has the ability plus a Clea...
If you just have something that can get a
legitimate herb play.
Like, both of them have it. Both of them have something that can do it.
Yeah.
It's just that for every other team, if you don't have it, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. Which is why, if you don't have it, you should never ever have herbs in your roster.
Shocked Matt Alix did not just go there and take it from him.
Me too. I'm actually shocked. I think he just literally just threw the game away on that.
I mean, we'll see. But that's. I mean, there's been a fair amount of this in this round that's just been like, what are we seeing here?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be grilling him on this lately because there is no world where any of Matt's characters can stop Juggernaut from capturing that 2 more times. So we've got 12 victory points going to Shadow Lord in the next 3 rounds.
I mean,
so Matt needs to capture all 4 Extremist consoles
so
and maintain a parity.
Yes. So he's got the 1 there. He's got that. He has this. So that's 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 3 points for Matt. Okay.
Here's a nice part about Voodoo, right? So he doesn't actually need to do anything fully here. All he needs to do is find out which one of Matt's characters is sitting on point by itself and Brother Daniel it, and then it doesn't even matter if Voodoo gets dazed, that token stays there and denies him one of those victory points he needs to maintain parity.
But there's nothing that Voodoo can do to stop, Amazing Spider-Man from just walking up onto the point either, right? Yeah. But I don't think that's, Amazing Spider-Man's play here. I think he goes for the 4, right? If you're Matt,
got 6 power. He's got 7 power, so you just hold Voodoo's activation, get a heal on him.
Correct, and then just make Amazing Spider-Man drop his shit when he comes running over.
Correct. So you double move clear, you use med pack onto Voodoo and get him healthy, and that way you can try to hold that activation as long as possible. Or you just walk over and nail him.
Still shocked that why not just run over and just take that from Juggernaut?
Correct. So I actually think if I'm Poole here and I have first activation, I believe that I'm just going to be running my Voodoo to where Miles is, and I'm going to put my Brother Daniel token on Amazing Spider-Man. And that would be GG.
You mean, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man is the correct choice there.
Yeah, but you position yourself so you're on the Extremist console so that Miles has to actually think about whether he needs to stay and fight or try and daze you or whatever. With a move? I think
not
the stagger,
likely to happen. Yeah.
The stagger, I think he gets close. So I think we just move here and heal him, and just to extend out that activation as long as possible. What's happening, Chewie?
What's up, Chewie?
I'm not impressed. Not happy with Matt on that. I think that he's just chucked the game away. Or if he wins it, he's made this infinitely harder than it has to be.
It's definitely made it a lot more interesting. I mean, both these guys have. I mean, they've chosen violence and done some. This is the most aggressive I've ever seen a Web Warriors team playing. Um, in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I like seeing an experienced Web Warrior player because they know when they need to turn it on, and that's the impressive part. So it's good.
Yeah, but
Like Matt's got a lot of experience, but I just feel like, I mean, it is late at night. I'll give him that, right? Like it's not till 2:20 in the afternoon like it is for me. It is, 1 a.m. or something for him. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like he had an opportunity there to absolutely seal the deal. There's the med pack play I was talking about.
But in the same way that it is, for an attrition player to go up and just roll dice and try to make things happen, it should almost also be intuitive for these guys to avoid that, right?
Yes.
And having your opponent not score points when there seems to be an obvious scenario in which you can make that a possibility.
Yep. I like that. I like that clear play.
It should seem intuitive.
Yeah, agreed. I like that clear play there. Move, teleport herself, heal with a med pack, and then move back. So you maintain a victory point and you get that voodoo back in the game. So this is where you're going to see what... let's say, what are we going with? Moon Knight? Yeah, this is where Moon Knight comes in, and this is why he sits in the Web Warrior squads. Should see him start to apply some pressure. Not with a roll like that, though. So we've got Ironbound Books, so he's going to have 6 defense here.
I mean, that's not a bad offensive roll.
Could be better, though. But, I mean, it's a push, right?
Yeah.
So I would absolutely teleport onto the red side of the board and kick Voodoo. Sorry, you move Voodoo. I think it's... What's the ordering on this?
Whoa.
Push away. So you got to move Voodoo first.
That is a...
So I think the push away is probably less than ideal here.
Did you go into him with a spender?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, never
blocks.
mind. That's just
2 blocks is 3, so we're going to see a damage sink, and we should see a push. So push away, so I fully expect Moon Knight to be pushed towards the blue side of the board, increasing that distance that he has away from Amazing Spider-Man. And then if I am Alix, I'm doing it again. I'm literally doing it twice. Got 4 power.
Yeah. The power to do it.
Yeah, he's staggered. Push him into irrelevance. He's a much kinder person than me, though, because I wouldn't have placed there. I would have placed directly towards right side of the board and kicked him towards his starting point.
Just straight down. Yeah.
Jugs is currently scoring the herb chew, yeah. I think Matt had an opportunity to stop it. We didn't get to measure it out, but I reckon he would have been very close.
So yeah, basically, Black Cat from a closer position to where she is currently only had to make it to where Juggernaut's at with a current amount of close amount of power to essentially just take the herb off of Juggernaut and cancel that 4 points out.
So that's what Voodoo is. Moon Knight is doing in that squad. So he's just double push Voodoo, and he's now contesting Clear's point. Actually, he's owning Clear's point because she's injured.
Yep. And
so Matt currently owning all 4 secures is exactly what we're talking about. But he needs to. What exactly has to cap his point once? He needs to cap his herd once.
What exactly prevents a Voodoo from going over to, Black Cat and just canceling her out again?
Correct. But I think because he can get the herb, because he did not put the token onto Amazing Spider-Man, I believe that Matt should beat him in the long run. Should.
So I would say just go there, place it on her, throw her off the point, force her to come back. What is power to Voodoo? It's nothing.
He's staggered.
Put further manual
single action.
And he's already cleared that.
Minimum you throw Voodoo, right? Okay, we're going for a spender instead. He could have done both, right?
Could have thrown people off of points. Could have done
So
a lot of things.
you throw Voodoo off the Moon Knight off the point, and then you single move towards Black Cat and apply your token to her, and they've cancelled 2 victory points, right?
Yep.
And you don't care if he dazes after that either, because you don't have to retract the token when he dazes.
Correct. Yeah, it's still out there, still active. Probably the most awful feature of an otherwise awful character.
Agreed.
That is true feels bad. Right there.
Yeah, this is it's the right play, right? I like it, right? Let me pretend this. I like that he's throwing Voodoo off, you know, etc., etc. But he's doing it from the viewpoint of an attrition player, and he needs to be able to mentally change his mindset here to push into control, because all he needs to do is just maintain his acceleration of victory points, right? Like, he's going to win no matter what happens here, especially if you're making it so that he's getting -2 points a turn, right?
Yeah. I just, all that, you're saving all that power. If he just goes over there and puts that on to Black Cat, how are you going to stop Juggernaut?
Correct. So, Clear being pulled off from Wedlock and Poole. This is when Indomitable should be played, but she is currently powerless, so it's not happening.
Man.
Like, the webs kind of do have a answer for Jugs in that they have their own herb carrier. It's just that Pooley's had the option to completely shut it down, and he just hasn't done it over and over again.
Yeah. Well, and in the same, vein, Matt Alix, right? He also hasn't capitalized.
Yep. So 5 hits from Ghost Spider, and she's going to get a long.
He could have just simply ran across the board and taken the herb off of Juggernaut. And that would have been that. I think there was a time earlier in this matchup to where he could have put a stagger into a position, and that would have severely inhibited this 4 points from going on the board against him, right?
Yep.
And none of these things are occurring, and these are things that I don't know. I'm actually a bit dumbfounded at some of the things I'm seeing here, and like this is, I think, my 5th commentary game, right, man? And I really don't want to be the sort of dude that criticizes anybody. I mean, maybe I'll criticize other Guardians players because I understand that affiliation, right?
What do we say? We're in the cheap seats.
But if I'm gonna have to have my peanut gallery 2 cents to put in on something, I'm very confused as to what it is that I'm seeing, right? There's been a lot of things that I think probably should have gone differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's all that gift of hindsight, right? But I mean, Juggernaut currently, if he slides into that quad bike in the middle down there, I'm pretty positive that he actually captures both of those. So Jugs is now worth 5 victory points a turn.
Yes, and the base there is going to do a lot of good for that. But more importantly, he's already smashed through a horse in this game, so
he's actually
I'm going to call that a win. Yeah.
So if we think about it, right? So Jugs is going to get 5. That takes us to
14.
Yeah, 14. He's not capping anything else. Matt is going to be going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Matt is getting 6 currently, I want to say.
So they're going to be tied at 14.
So therefore, if you follow that train of thought, Matt should outscore him. Should.
Okay. How are we doing on time, boss?
We have got 25 minutes. Saves time.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of time. Plenty of time to get this out.
Yep. So Matt should outscore this, right? More characters. They're both securing herbs. Problem is, Voodoo.
I don't see how that's possible. You said he lost his game, but he didn't do the Black Hat thing.
No, it's like you just think that, like you said, we're, like I was saying before, we're living that cheap seat dream, right? We're not seeing the greater picture.
Well, It would have been a loss if I think Voodoo does some of his voodoo bullshit as well too, right?
Yep. I mean, he still can win
Uh,
another round. So
yeah,
Voodoo, this is what I was saying.
it's
Juggernaut
looking
needed to
pretty
slide.
good for Matt Alex at this point.
Yeah, Juggernaut needed to do the slide and then just walk into the position, but instead we're doing this the hard way, which I think
Which is
he,
asinine. I don't get it.
I think
But
he's out. I think he's out.
I suppose he still has a movement, so he gains his power from this. He can still smash that quad.
Yes, so he's
No,
moved
he's already
the.
moved once. Got the herb though.
He
So
is, but I don't see the extremist above his head, and I don't think he's actually in range of that. It's hard to tell though. I'll let the layers decide.
I think he's good. They're not really measuring it or questioning it.
Well, we
Uh,
don't know. They might be saying, yeah, he's out.
he looks okay to me.
I mean, there's no extremist above his head, right? So he's currently only worth 4 victory points. And they're saying that Shadow Lord goes to 16.
So quad size 1. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, he's not 16. No way. 15, 14. So with that, yeah, that makes sense because he would have got 7. So Matt currently winning next round. So Voodoo needs to put his token onto Amazing Spider-Man. That cancels that out. Voodoo will get dazed. One of Miles or Black Cat pick it up and sit on the points. So that's 4 points for Matt, taking him to 19. Jugs will be hopefully getting 5, so he's also worth 19. And then I would say that between Ghost Spider and Moon Knight, they will kill clear. And I would say that's probably a game for Matt because he'll capture one more of these cures.
I don't see a lot of paths to victory here for Shadow Lord. It's going to be tough at this point, especially being a model down by now.
Yep. Model down, and it's your model with the reposition.
Yeah.
The model that can actually assist you to try and stop victory points, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, as far as these convocation rosters with these monster splash characters, it's like, especially at some of these threat levels, uh, you end up in a situation where as House Party Will had said, you expect too much out of some characters to carry your game, either from an attrition or otherwise standpoint.
Yep.
And once you take that Doctor Strange out of the picture, that might have been a key cog into what it is that he was attempting to do from the convocation side,
Yep.
Because this is, a juggernaut and Doctor Strange team with, what essentially equates to a very amazing model, but a support model.
Well, that's how I view the new Doctor Strange, right? I just do not view him as an attrition piece. I know that, like, on paper,
I don't even see him as a control piece because it's so fucking expensive.
It's so expensive. Decent attacks. I feel like we just gave the game away, though, because we've just gone double attacks from Voodoo into Ghost Spider. So now Amazing Spider-Man 100% caps that point. So we were banking on one of Miles or Black Cat to have to come across to pick up that token, which is now not happening. So if I am Matt,
this has been a really wild watch for me, man. I don't know if these guys are tired or.
It's been a big day. They're 3 rounds in. That's 6 hours of Marvel. If I'm Matt, I'm just activating Moon Knight and I'm turning clear to dust. Moon Knight rolled a hit, which means he gets additional attack dice. So we're going to see a 6 dice bow staff. Into clear. He's only got 2 defense.
Correct call on the Moon Knight activation.
Yep.
So
thank you. 1 block. Let's see the rerolls. He actually can reroll a skull. if he's contesting a point, by the way. He's not. So carry on. Can't re-roll a skull.
Yep. Still, I mean, if you get the opportunity, you take your attrition piece, try to put another model down.
Yeah, and
And
he's about to.
that just cements things. Just cements it.
100%. He's about to. What's Clear's Mystic defense? Is it large? 4. I'll probably still rate 7 versus 4. Oh, but 4 versus 2 is also it's pretty good odds. You just rapid fire that Clear and kill it.
Yep. And he's already got the 4 dice laid out. That's what he's looking at. Yep. There it is.
1, 2, 3, and dead.
Yep, that's going to do it. Even with the rerolls. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, I would say that is game. So we've got the tokens sitting on Ghost Spider. So currently we're going to see 6 points go to Matt and 5 if that's in for Poole. So 21 to 19.
I mean, this appears to be very much a tight game. It's been kind of all over the place and some things that you would expect to see not occurring. And I'm not an objective player, right? But I'm still kind of taken aback that some of the things that you would think should be like mandatory movements or mandatory actions, right? They just didn't seem to occur in this game from both sides, you know.
Take it from me with the with commentating. It's an interesting one because you and I are not suffering from. I mean, Travis and I call it the fog of war. We're not suffering from the fog of war. Right? We're not sitting there with tunnel vision and triggering dice and all of these other like distractions.
No, I totally get it. The reason that I say these things is I wonder what these guys were thinking as far as what the goal was beyond that, because I have to think that with guys at this level that they're probably thinking a turn beyond, right? Yeah. You know, there was a point, I think, you know, probably 15 minutes ago where it's like, well, Matt just lost the game.
Yep.
Well, Matt has not lost the game, right?
Just had to pick a different way to win it, right? He lost the game in that he allowed Jugs to start capping that herb, and luckily Poole did not put his token onto Amazing Spider-Man, right? That token sits on Amazing Spider-Man, and Matt absolutely has lost the game. Poole just accelerates away, but it didn't go onto him, so...
Well, conversely, if Black Cat runs over and takes that herb off of Juggernaut before he gets over there,
no
or even after he gets over there, right?
Yep.
And look, man, I've been in the heat of battle myself a little bit. Maybe not to the extent of other folks, but like I'm not an objective player, and so to me, this has been really interesting. So I think there's got to be something more to some of this, right? Is what I'm really trying to allude to, like the game within the game that I'm not capable of understanding because I'm not an objective player.
Yep. No, I agree with you there. It's that, you know, it's funny when I talk to guys like Reith and Morgan and stuff, and they'll just be like, well, you just do this and you win. And I'm in my head, I'm like, that never occurred to me in any way, shape, or form, because it's like the no fun option, or it's the whatever option, you know?
Yeah, to Morgan's credit, he did a fair amount of that in his game tonight earlier. And
that's just how it goes. I mean, that's competitive anything. And that's something that what we all learn from our like X-Wing background is that, you know, never ever stop an opponent from making a mistake. And just because it's not fun doesn't mean it's not the correct option.
It wasn't even about like opponents making mistakes. It's just you lay a few things up. You keep, you know, you created some really good enticing options, yada yada.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Don't want to detract away from what these gentlemen are doing because I think both of these guys had made cut in TTS season.
This cut, both were in this cut.
Yeah,
which is the biggest TTS tournament to date, like 270 players or something. So still extremely good, but we might kill it there, mate, and we'll get ready for potentially, if Travis wins, one more round. If not, I'll be posting the results. But thank you for commentating with me, mate. We might have one more, so if you want to hang around or you feel like a late night, Um,
Yeah. Might go out, grab a smoke or some shits. And,
grab a beer.
I've been drinking champagne all night, man.
I like it. All right.
Fucking classy.
No, classy, man. All right.
I don't do they call that the piss over there in Australia if
Yes,
I'm
the
drinking
nasty
champagne.
stuff. No one likes it. No, actually, there's a whole echelon over here that likes it. We don't think of
Okay,
them as Australians. All right, I'm gonna just mute
right.
myself for a second.
So if I drink the piss, that's just beer, right? It doesn't count for champagne
No,
or wine.
that's liquid gold over here.
It's all piss.
All good. All right. Talk to you soon.
I'm trying to figure this out. Are you killing me, man? All right.
Too
Well,
bad.
no worries.
Too bad. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right, guys, gonna kill it there. I'm gonna be back potentially with one more. Just waiting to find out what has happened with Travis's game. I might actually do that now. We'll dive across and see how they're going. Don't mind me, gonna dive in, and I'm probably gonna jump in their game, so I might even stream the back end of it and see how these boys are doing. Hey boys, how's it going? Should undeafen myself. That's the next thing.
It's purely just
Hey boys, how are we going?
mate,
15
tense as hell.
5.
Oh, I'm coming in then. Stream's on. Don't swear.
Oh.
I'm joking. What's our dates?
What-
Masters 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Easy.
Okay. How are we going to do this one? It's got to be
Oh.
Fury, I think.
fucked if I know, mate.
Yeah.
You know what's good when it's like, how are we doing this? Mate, I don't know. You figure it out.
Every choice is wrong.
Absolutely. Oh, come on, TTS. You are just such a garbage program.
It's going to be Panther, I think.
To be free, to be fair, it is free. Like,
True.
Panther, it's going to
all
pay.
this stuff is rubbish, but I paid $0 for it.
But I'm upset about it.
It's going to pay 2
Yeah.
for Mantle, and I'm going to punch Rocket in the face.
We learned from last time.
Yes, I will make sure he dies. Oh,
The
no,
rocket double crits.
it's actually not looking that positive.
I know. It's a skull.
Skulls
It's
4.
one.
Yeah, get him.
Yeah.
It's paid
Next
2
one.
for a pounce.
Hey, Juggernaut.
And yeah, mate,
Took,
Fury rolled,
took a lot of killing.
Fury rolled 8 hits and he rolled no blocks and he had no power.
Oh,
Then let's
Yeah.
do a. Let's go.
Once he was flipped.
We're going to do a
Ooh.
kinetic burst, and we're going to pay 3 to pump it up to 9 dice.
carry on, boys. I'm just going to deafen myself so I can throw some commentary.
Nice.
Right. This is the other undefeated match, so it looks like we're definitely going to be going, maybe, actually, I don't know, let's see, to another round. Looking at Wakanda, 3 hammers on their side, and Syndicate, Superpowered Syndicate, which he owns that one. He owns that. He owns 2 of them, maybe? Maybe he owns 1 of them, so he's getting 4, and wow, that's a massive attack from Panther into Carnage, I think. I would say that's going to be 1. Oof, 7 damage into Carnage. Jeez. Well, that's one way of doing it. Burn to dust. Not sure why the stream review is mucking up like that, guys, but we'll figure it out after. So, Panther coming in. Sorry. Soldier. Two hits. Soldier's got, well, Panther's got 4 defense with cover. So we're into a Koye, maybe? We got Goblin sitting there, Panther there. So he's getting 1, 2, and a hammer? No hammers. Last hammer's there. Where are all the hammers at? 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be missing one. On Gobbo. Found it. Big block, triple block. Scoundrels can be very infuriating. Like people pick it because it's quite high scoring, but it's quite low damage because of the cover on everything. I would say Travis is going to get 4, 2, 3 on Andrew. If he kills Panther here, ties it up. That's Travis's jugs. He is absolutely sitting in irrelevance. I mean, he's got 2 hammers, so I can see why, but I'll assume to see him come in and just try and get Soldier here. Got Nick Fury to activate as well. I don't think he really needs to do anything here. A Jug's activation would be pretty spicy. Healthy, Winter Soldier's not. Move, slide, move. Or move, move, slide. Hey, Captain, what's happening, brother? Tournament is going well. This is round 3. We're about to go into round 4. That's pretty good. Looks like round 4 is going to be Wakanda versus Web Warriors. Now we got Jugs. I like this. Didn't do much, but I like it. Jugs is hiding in a corner. I don't know why, but oh my god, 4. Oh, Jugs has rolled pretty well in defense. Panther's still alive, so we got a Jugs reroll coming in. What's that? 5 damage. Got the Wakanda reroll for 4 blocks. Pay 1, take none. Spider Foes reroll. Still taking none. Ooh, we slip one in. Get the power back. Bad. Oh, what's that? 6 in the attack? What is this from? I would fully expect to see Jugs come flying back in now. Does he need to, though? There's 1 power sitting on Goblin, so you don't need to worry about his what's the name of his thing? Tricks and Traps? Trick or Treat. Doing the power slide. Still out of range at that point though. So if he wants, he's got to walk for it. I think he should walk for it as well. And he's given rerolls to win a soldier. Oh, choosing violence. I mean, it is a 10 dice attack. Gets a reroll for being within range 1. That power does enable him to slide to the point though. Jugs does how much damage? Not enough. Okay, Jugs has paid 1 to not take damage from the bleed. It wasn't a spender, Captain. So I mean, all he's got to do is just generate the 3 power he needed to just pay for the superpower again, right? You can just pay it again and again and again. Going for it. It's not a good attack. It's not good at all. Decent block, bad attack. Yeah, no, because you're 2 hammers, so it's a 10 dice builder. Oh yeah, we'll go and grab this other point. And Nick Fury grabs that one. He's already got it. I think that's game. 4 plus 3, so Kraus will get 7. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 2, Andrews gets 1. 2. It's 1, doesn't he? Cool. That's game for that. So we're going to have another round. Kill stream. We've got 15-minute break and then back in for the final round, guys. So see you soon.